Hi, everyone, and welcome to our official demo day. My name is JC, our Director of Marketing here at Sierra, and we're super excited to welcome you guys to our very first virtual demo day. So before we get started, go ahead and drop in the chat and let us know if you can hear us and where you're tuning in from. I'll give you guys a second to get back to us here. Are we good to go from that standpoint? Let's see. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Awesome. Well, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to share my screen and then we will kick things off. Awesome. So welcome. We're very excited to have you guys join us today. And we just really are excited to have everybody here. We have a great team lined up and we have some great content here for you guys that we're excited to present today. So this demo should take approximately 60 minutes. For anybody that needs to drop early, rest assured, we will be sending out the recording at the conclusion of today's demo. So do not fret. You'll see that email in your inbox later today with the recording and some additional assets that we'll have for you guys as well. But we're going to go ahead and start with some introductions, and then members of our sales team will kick us off by walking through our product demo, which is what you guys are all here for. From there, then we have members of our customer experience team. So Philip from our onboarding and training team is going to walk you guys through how we partner with you guys to ensure that we set your teams up for success and get you guys the tools and trainings that you need for your teams to see success with Sierra and all of our products and services. Then from our customer success team, Scott is going to highlight how teams can use our software to scale and continue to grow their businesses to achieve their business goals. Finally, we're going to leave some time for attendees to answer questions of all of our panelists. So make sure to drop those in the chat throughout. I'm going to be going off screen, but I will be monitoring the chat. So make sure you guys ask questions. We want to make this as engaging as possible, and we want to make sure that you guys get everything that you need out of our session today. So here's who you're going to be seeing a little bit of today. Again, my name's JC. I'm our Director of Marketing here at Sierra, and I will be your host for today. From our growth team, we have Account Executive James Ballou and our VP of Growth, Amanda Sullivan. They will be running us through our product demo. And then we have Philip Clift, who is representing our customer experience team, like I mentioned previously, and Scott Silverian, who heads up our customer success team. But first, I'd like to introduce you guys to our CEO, Peter McLaughlin, who is joining us today to share a special message with you all.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be here. As JC said, my name is Peter McLaughlin. I'm the CEO of Sierra Interactive, and I have been for coming up on 2 years now. We're very excited to show you why thousands of high-performing agents and teams run their businesses on Sierra. Gaining a software and systems edge on your competitors is probably more important now than it has ever been. And we're not only proud of the technology that we offer our customers, but also how we partner with our customers to understand their goals and help them achieve those goals. And I think Philip and Scott will do a great job of bringing you into all that we do on that front. But before we jumped into the product demo, I wanted to spend a little bit of time discussing what makes Sierra so special. And so the first point I want to highlight, and this will be brought to life via the demo when James takes the reins, is our ability to turbocharge your lead generation and optimize your lead capture. So what does that jargon mean? First, and perhaps most importantly, Sierra allows you to generate more organic traffic via SEO. And so how do we do that in practice? The first way we do that is we have a native website and content management system. So one of our primary advantages at Sierra is we've built our websites and our content management system ourselves from the ground up. Most of our competitors, I won't name names, have taken a shortcut and have chosen to build on top of a third-party framework like a WordPress or a Squarespace. And so why does this matter? Using a third-party framework means competitors are not in control of their code they're not in control of the underlying technology and are not able to optimize your site the way we are. That's one reason our sites rank better out of the box more than almost all of our competitors, because we fully own the code. We can and do continually update it to improve performance and keep pace with Google's ever-changing and evolving standards around search. And then our content management system is equally powerful and equally important because it allows you to showcase your local market knowledge, drive leads to that knowledge better than anyone else through configurable community pages, through listing detail pages, et cetera. And so native platform built by us, very important. Number two is, we built a proprietary IDX framework that really presents an advantage to our customers. So over the years, we've built nearly, 500-ish IDX feeds ourselves, which results in better performance, in an overall, superior customer experience, which ultimately lends itself to more time on your website by consumers. So more organic traffic through SEO. The second way we allow you to turbocharge your lead gen is through paid marketing and lead capture. So, our standard subscription includes seller lead sites, which are pages dedicated to capturing seller leads based on ads for home value, guaranteed sale, what's my home worth. So using a standalone page increases conversion because it's dedicated for that purpose, and doesn't include noise. Similarly, we allow you to build custom landing pages and targeted IDX searches. So, if you're advertising for buyer leads, you can send them to pages that have very, very specific targeted search results that are directly in line with what that person is seeking to discover. And then lastly, this is actually a change we made somewhat recently, is enabling you to capture leads with, we allow you to remove friction from the lead capture process by only requiring certain pieces of information. So as opposed to requiring 5, 6, 7 fields, you can minimize the number of fields, bring in more leads, nurture those leads over time as you learn more about them. So more leads, organic leads, and better lead capture. JC, you can move to the next slide. Reason number 2 our platform is special is we allow you to nurture and follow up with your leads effectively and at scale with what we call a combination of personalization and automation. So Sierra enables you to make lead nurture, engagement, and conversion more of a predictable science, as I like to say. So what does that actually mean? How do we do that? The first piece is automations, and James, I'm sure will run through these with you. The series of if-then statements allow you to structure the ideal customer journey based on actions they're taking or not, or other criteria. And you can do this for both buyer and seller leads. And then the second piece, just as important, is personalization. Automations without personalization aren't effective. When you pair the two, it's highly, highly impactful. And then all of this is powered by a fully embedded dialer that is native to the Sierra experience. So more leads, better follow-up and conversion usually means more GCI. The last reason, or the third reason that I believe Sierra is special is we enable you to do all this in one place. So we have a robust IDX plus CRM platform with an open API that surrounds it, that allows Sierra to be your team's hub for virtually everything you do. So having IDX and CRM under one roof is really important for a couple of reasons. Number one, the performance is better, right? The connective tissue between IDX and CRM is stronger. Number two, you don't have an integration headache. And number three, it's simpler for your team, right? They're both under one roof and they're not navigating back and forth to different windows. And when you pair that with an API that then allows you to connect to all the other impactful point solutions, it allows you to build a full operating system. And so, an open architecture is core to our strategy. We want to offer the best IDX and CRM platform out there, and then integrate seamlessly with all the other great solutions that complement our platform. We want to own and commit to our strengths while also giving you the choice to build around the Sierra system. So, notable integrations we have in place today: Sisu, Rooster, Revaluate, Structurally. Some big ones coming soon, like Google Calendar, Fellow, and many others. So not only are we continuing to improve the IDX and CRM platform, but we take really seriously continuing to build out our API so that when that next great tool emerges, we can connect to it very quickly. So in summary, generate more leads, convert more of those leads into customers, and do it all in one place. And excited to dig into some of this more deeply via the product demo.
Thanks, Peter. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here now. I'm going to take over. Hi, everyone. I'm going to take you through kind of a high-level demo of the product, and then not too long, just the the meat of it all to make sure everything that you're interested in is covered here today. And then Amanda and I will go through some of the more frequently asked questions that come up, which I can assure most of you probably will have as well after I go through the demo. So first, I want to start with our IDX website. So one of the big things with Sierra, and many of you have probably already heard, whether you've looked up reviews or word of mouth, is, the SEO of our site. And Peter kind of touched on that as well. Our sites are designed very intentionally for calls to action to be front and center, and ways to engage your leads and wanting you to show up on Google. So kind of the metaphor I like to use when I talk about a real estate agent's website is that about 98% of agents' websites are a business card, right? It's something that if they want to talk to somebody and show them their site, they tell them their URL and they go check out their website, right? So it doesn't really exist anywhere to a client unless you tell them about it. So really the goal with an SEO website, SEO meaning, how well you rank on Google, is to give you visibility to where your clients and prospects are searching. So I take that business card metaphor and say it makes your business more like a brick and mortar shop on a busy street. So not only are the people that are in your sphere aware of your website, but people who are walking by and looking for homes in your neighborhood are seeing your website. So that's really the key to SEO and giving yourself that presence. So whenever we make a search for something that we're interested in buying, in this case, it's homes, generally people are going to go with, anywhere in the first 5 to 10 results, right? They're going to click on those sites, and that's where we want you to be. So that's really a big focus of our websites and the SEO. And we'll dig into that a little bit more, how that works later. But just want to kind of preface with that. So this is our ACE website. We have a few templates. This is my personal favorite of our templates that I'm going to show you here today. The goal with this is to make it look a little bit different than every other real estate website. Most websites kind of have a search bar and then some properties, but those tend to generate more buyer leads, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with buyer leads, but in a post-NAR world, we definitely want your website to attract sellers, right? So the goal with this template was to streamline it to have calls to action everywhere for a seller. So, and to build trust, right? If they're going to sell their home with you, they want to trust you and know that you have credentials or area expertise or something along those lines. So this is Jody's site. This is one of my favorites. She has a video here in the background that you've been seeing running for the last 4 minutes while I've rambled. But as I scroll, we see sell my home, what's my home worth, search homes, just clear calls to action. And then the video in the background that kind of shows her connection to the community. We also have, just to show you another example of just with a still image, to show you kind of what the difference would look like. You can do either or with your own site if you do sign up with us. But the video can go a long way, which I think looks nice. And then as I scroll, rather than diving into properties, what customers are going to see is kind of credentials, right? So testimonials, reviews, what she's done in the Huntington Beach area in this case, average price. So things that are going to build trust with that seller, where they immediately see, and I mean, this was one of the first sites I saw when I started working here. And I was like, oh, seems like she knows what she's doing, right? And I got all of that just from one page on her site. So testimonials, reviews, and then here we have another seller funnel. So we're just constantly kind of peppering in different calls to action, get in touch with us. It's really not anything, groundbreaking or revolutionary. You just need to make sure always you have call to actions front and center for your clients or your prospects to get in touch with you and get the info they want so you can provide them with value. So focus on the team and what you do. So that's a high level of kind of the home landing page of the seller-oriented website. And we've been doing this since 2007. So I think we're on year 17 now of IDX websites. So this is definitely our specialty. And there's a couple other things I want to show you in relation to our website here at a high level. First is definitely going to be our advanced search. So if I go to search by map, many of you have probably seen this experience on Zillow, where you can draw a polygon on a map and see, certain homes in an area. But one thing that's different, and Peter touched on this, is that our websites are custom. And because they're so custom and they're not built with WordPress, we also integrate with your MLS in a custom way, meaning it's one-to-one with your MLS. Most real estate websites will have, some general options here in the advanced search. But because ours is one-to-one, whatever fields exist in your MLS will exist on your site. And this matters for a few reasons. First, if a client wants to search and make an advanced search, they can do so, right? So any field that happens to exist in the MLS, they can isolate here. But more importantly, for when it comes to your pay-per-click strategies, which we'll get into, and your community pages, you can have any subset of listings showing up on a certain page based on any criteria in your MLS, rather than just having to maybe do a price range and a zip code. So very kind of detailed functionality there, which we'll dig into a little bit more. But the MLS integration is just as custom as our websites and done so intentionally. And then ultimately, what you put up here is going to be up to you. Some people are going to feature their blog. Some will feature their team. Jody has buyers and sellers. And then I think the community pages are definitely one of the strongest aspects of your website for generating organic leads. So we're going to dig into this too a little bit more later. But I just wanted to show you kind of at a high level what these community pages look like and the way that they're going to direct people who are searching for homes in a certain area to land on your website. Again, making your website more of a brick and mortar shop that they're browsing, as opposed to just a business card that you're handing out. But yeah, so I like to show Kate's as well. And then the other thing I like to show before we jump into the CRM is going to be the co-branding functionality that you can have with the Sierra site. So one of our customers out in Portland, a lot of our customers will split their billing with their lenders. To show you kind of how we integrate that, have this listing here in Portland, Oregon. And then as I scroll, we're going to have a very clean view of the images. And right here under the mortgage calculator, we have Angelique, their partnered lender. So a couple things to note here. Angelique is featured on all of their listings that are pulling in from the MLS. She will have access to a very simplified version of the CRM. So anybody who does want to speak to her, she can get notified of, and you can assign leads to Angelique or anything along those lines. And in addition to that, you can also feature multiple lenders. So if you have 3 or 4 lenders you like to feature here, we can just do a general round robin where it'll feature different images and different calls to action for each of your lenders that you partner with. But yeah, so that's the lender and co-branding. And the last thing I think that is worth spending a little time with you guys on here on the website as well is just the general look of this page. So this is meant to look clean and be very focused on calls to action, right? We want this to load quickly because a lot of people are on mobile, and we want it to look fast and approachable. So a lot of companies or websites I've seen will do like 2 big thumbnails. You got to scroll through about 100 different right clicks before you can see every page. Everything is done so intentionally here with a big thumbnail and small. As I scroll, you're going to see the address and all of the clickable icons become static bars. And we're also going to see that our agent follows us around, kind of like a painting. No matter where I go on the site, you're always there watching over your customer, and they're always ready to tour the home if they need to. So this is a very intentionally done page. It's meant to be clean and fast. The reason I touch on that is because there will be some of your clients who want to see a more luxury version if you're going to post their listing, right? So like if you're trying to earn my business and you want to post my home, I might want to know that, hey, this looks good and all, but I want to know that you're featuring my home in a little bit more elegant way. So for that, we have property sites. So for your own listings, you'll be able to make a custom property site template that we have built for you. You can load in your images and it looks much more elegant. And then as I scroll, you can also have some additional features. So the photo gallery, edge to edge, clear black bars, kind of a luxury look. And then if you have a video tour, you happen to have drone footage of it or anything like that, 3D tour, floor plan, and then we have a map here of the area of where it's located. So this would be a custom landing page for any of your listings. So that's an option, and that's included for free with your subscription to us. So that's about it on the website side. We'll probably get into a few more details with the Q&A. Next, I want to jump into the CRM. So at a high level, we're in the agent enablement business. So we really want to have a high level focus on what's important to you in the CRM. So I'm sure some of you on the call are using CRMs already. Maybe some of you guys are using pen and paper, old school, or maybe some are using the Excel spreadsheet. That's a pretty common one. So what all of these databases have in common is that they house a lot of leads, right? You could have hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of leads in your system at any time. So the goal is, to me, for a CRM to not only house those leads, but help surface the ones that are most important. So that's the goal of the dashboard. As soon as you log into our CRM, the things we want front and center are, hey, you have 1,000 leads, but these 5 leads need action, right? These are the leads that need attention right now. So when I log in here, we have our dashboard. We're going to see all of our leads. Actually, let me do one thing here real quick. Switch to Casey so we get a few more options. There we go. So we have our showing requests that we need to return, any emails we need to reply to, text to respond to, and calls. Any leads in the system that we have that have signed up today on the website or have returned to the site after a certain period of inactivity will show up here. And then any tasks that we have due today, right? So maybe we need to call Henry, or we have a task for April that we need to respond to. All of that's going to show up here. So this is like your dashboard of time-sensitive notifications. So this is where you start your day. And then once you kind of work your way through all of this important day to day, then you can dig into the deeper components of the CRM. So I also like to show is that not everybody wants to live in their CRM. So a really important component to us is notifications. So one thing that we have purposely built out is a notification schedule for each agent on your team that they can customize. But most importantly, anything that's important that's coming into the CRM, you don't want to miss. So let's say a lead saves a listing on your website. We want to be able to notify you directly in the app, text you or email you. And maybe you also want a lender to get notified or your ISA to be notified, right? So everything in the system can be pushed to your phone. So if you're just, sitting on the couch watching TV and you get an urgent notification, you don't have to be living in your CRM to be notified of what's important. So that's the goal with these. And then we have a difference between general notifications, which are going to be your standard ones. And then we have behavioral, which are going to be more like your smart filters or notifications. So if someone views a property multiple times, right, that's a high intent behavior. It's like they're looking at the property, they're showing it to their wife, maybe to their kids. Okay, we're seeing a lot of activity. Let's notify you that this lead is doing some high volume activity. The alerts that many of you send out, whether you send them through your CRM or your MLS, if you send them through Sierra, we can notify you when they're engaging with them. So if a lead clicks on 2 consecutive listing alerts, we can notify you and we can get those behavioral triggers working for you. And next, which I'm sure everybody has had experience with, is drip campaigns. So that's a key component of our CRM. And I think that's really where Sierra can take a lot of lift off your shoulders. So again, back to the example of 1,000 to 2,000 leads in your database at any one time. You have a lot of leads to talk to. And if you're like me, the ones that we're really talking to are the ones who are buying in the next, 30 to 120 days, right? So our warm leads. Where automations really come in handy is those leads that will buy from you one day, assuming you stay in front of them, but you just don't have the bandwidth to talk to right now, right? People who are 6 months out, 8, 9 months out. And we do need to communicate with them more than just sending them home alerts. We want to have some form of communication going in front of them. And then what this view is going to tell us is, this is test data, so I don't have anything in here, but let's say you're doing an automation campaign. We can see their response rates, who's responding, who's completed, how many are unsubbing, which you never want to see, but you're going to have some. But we get high level metrics on these plans, and we can put a lot of things into these action plans as well. So I want to show you guys an example here. Let me go to edit. You're not authorized to view this. Got it. Make one here. Oh, I know why. Cool. So we'll create our first activity. So in this automated action plan, we can do a few things. We can send an email, a text, or a ringless voicemail. So this is a unique feature to Sierra. Maybe 1 or 2 others out there that can do it, but not very many. let's say someone registers on your website and you want a voicemail to go out to them instead of just a text. So what we can do here is record a message. I can say, hey, this is James over at Sierra. Thanks for registering on the site. If you have any questions, just give me a call back. And then we can have this message go out right away, or we can pick maybe 5 minutes after they register, 8 minutes, whatever we want to do. And then we also have custom rules around weekends. So maybe you don't want to contact people on the weekend, so we can move it to the next business day. I would have to select a voice message. Looks like, do I have any in here? Get this to go real quick. Okay, testing. All right. I was not prepared for this. I think Casey might have some. Either way, the real thing I wanted to show you with the plans was the customization around the number of dates. So, have anything in these templates? One activity, perfect. So we have an email. Maybe we want a text to go out in day 1, or maybe we want another email to go out day 2. We can add that in here, and you can have as many as you want. I know there are some CRMs out there that will only let you send 1 text per drip campaign. And we do not have that limitation for you. We want to make sure that, however, and honestly, nowadays text is the best way to get a hold of your client. So we want to make sure that's kind of front and center. And one last thing to touch on before we move over to the fireside chat would be one thing we also allow you to do is change the opt-out message. So I know a lot of people who are used to using a CRM, if you have some drip campaigns going, you'll have opt-out messages go just for legal spam laws. You can customize what this message sends to your customers as long as it just ends in the legal language required, which is reply stop to cancel. So I think that's usually a pretty good feature. But let me toss it over here and let Amanda jump in.
So,
I'm sorry, Peter. Apologies.
Well, I was going to ask James real quick before we move on here. One of the things on that Peter mentioned as well is those automations that can kick off and automatically trigger those action plans. And I think that's kind of an important piece to hit on as well, because we've got a lot of those behavioral triggers that's really unique to Sierra as well. Based on what they're doing on your website, you can then trigger an automation automatically, so you don't even have to manually put anybody into a drip plan, right?
Right, 100%. Yeah, and I honestly just missed that. So that's very important. That is the secret sauce of the drip campaigns.
Right.
Is it's one thing to have a campaign of being able to communicate. The advanced functionality is being able to target people and enroll them in campaigns automatically. So an example of what Amanda said here is behavioral triggers. So let's say a lead does click on 2 consecutive listing alerts, right? We can have that become an if this, then that trigger, right? So in this case, a lead has clicked on 2 consecutive alerts. So we want to put them on an action plan that will do 5 touches in 10 days, whatever action plan we've created. So the really unique thing about this compared to other CRMs is mostly the ways that can trigger this automatically. So it doesn't just have to be if a lead clicks consecutive listing alerts. One of my personal favorites to demo, which I had ready here, was if you're making calls, if you're hammering out calls, something that you might not think about, what can absolutely be a drip campaign is, what if you have a wrong phone number? Let's say one of your agents or yourself, you log the call as wrong number and you move on and you're like, oh, let me get back to that. On the back end, that's something we can track. So if you log a call as a wrong phone number, we can say, if a call is logged, put them on a bad phone number action plan. So if this happens, then that happens, right? So they'll get a website notification next time they're on your site to update their phone number, and they'll also get an email. So all of these different functionalities, and it's worth actually touching on even one more before we jump. I think birthdays and anniversaries are very important to a lot of people. Maybe you integrate with, like AM cards or some other service, and you want to trigger a Zapier integration or something along those lines. Ours has additional functionality where many people can tell you when a client's birthday is, but maybe you guys do something special for someone and like send them something ahead of time. We can customize the number of days until their birthday and then send the notification. So a week ahead of time, you want an alert to go out to your partner or something along those lines. And then also lead sources. I think this is a big one many of you will have. Maybe you're doing an open house or you're doing a Facebook campaign. You're going to apply a tag to that. So I don't know if I have one in here. Let's just say this was the open house. If we apply that tag, we don't want to do anything. This is all you would do in the system. You'd come in here and say market update, and then everything on the back end would trigger based on that tag. Thanks for pointing that out, Amanda. I did have that teed up, but
the sky's really the limit on how you can kind of pull together this robust sort of lead engagement, lead follow-up systems. And I think that's one of the most powerful bits of the CRM for sure. So thank you, James. That was really great overview. But we'd definitely be remiss, I think, if we didn't address the big old Nar Settlement elephant in the room. So we're going to throw it back to Peter, who's going to go into how we're helping customers navigate the situation.
Thanks, Amanda. Yeah, as I'm sure everyone on this phone call is aware, there are some changes forthcoming as a result of the NAR settlement, and we will be releasing a product update in response to these changes. And this product update has two principal components. The first is the biggest change as a result of the NAR settlement is an agent's inability to communicate compensation to buyer agents, right? Very explicitly in the legal documentation, it does allow you to do elsewhere, and we are going to support exactly that. So we are launching a free text field, which we'll show you screenshots of shortly, that will allow you to either state your willingness to offer buyer agent compensation, a dollar amount, a percentage. It's really up to you, your brokerage, and what your MLS will allow, but the functionality will exist. And then secondly, obviously, another big change coming to our industry is the requirement to have a buyer agency agreement signed to show someone a home. And it's important to be able to track that and designate leads as having signed a buyer agency agreement in your source of truth in your CRM. So we're also launching a workflow paired with training and education around how to do exactly that right in your CRM system. And so both of these changes will be released the week of August 12th. They're in testing right now. We put a ton of thought into how these are built and have been collaborating very extensively, honestly, with many of the MLSs out there to make sure we get this right. So JC, if you want to quickly go to the next slide, what a lead will see on IDX is that top image, and these aren't all that viewable, but we'll have better mocks and they'll be live relatively soon. Is if an agent that owns a listing wants to include some sort of free-form text, that's possible. Or if you just want to include a simple percentage or dollar amount, that's also possible. And so really kind of it's up to you and your brokerage in collaboration with their MLS to determine kind of what best practice is and should be, but the functionality will support really any use case. And if you go to the next slide, JC, similar view, just what a lead will see. So this will show both, really everywhere in the platform. And, we're keeping a really, really close finger on the pulse here. This is a moving target. We're committed to making sure we enable all of you to be able to communicate compensation in every which way that is compliant and legal under the prevailing new dynamic. So as this situation changes, we will also pivot and evolve. But for now, we're really excited about this release and think it's going to really be a meaningful update for the entirety of our customer base.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Such important stuff, and it's certainly top of mind for everyone.
Amanda, let me just address Eileen's question.
So perfect, in the chat.
If there is nothing filled in there, Eileen, that field won't show at all. I think that addresses your concern. Again, like it is up to the brokerage to determine what agents should be doing on this front. And if the brokerage takes a stance that they should not be sharing commission or compensation whatsoever, that field will be as if it doesn't exist. So
awesome. Thanks for catching that. So yes, be sure to put your questions in the chat so we can get to those at the end of the webinar. But for now, we're going to talk about some frequently asked questions that our team gets a lot in the sales process. Let's start a little bit with let's start on Google PPC. This is sort of the third leg of the stool, James. I think you mentioned it maybe briefly when you were going through the product, but this is the lead gen kind of leg of the stool. We've got IDX website, CRM, lead gen through Google PPC. A lot of people ask often, what can you target in your ads? Specific demographics, areas, things like that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is one of the reasons why Sierra's PPC is known as one of the best in the industry, because of what we can target. Just mostly because of the way we have that custom MLS integration built out, we're able to target pretty much any physical location, income levels, home ownership status. So those are our demographics that we can target. And then areas we can go by city name, communities, subdivisions, or by county. So we can get very specific in what we're targeting to make sure PPC obviously can be very rewarding, but it's also, it can be a grind, right? So these are top of the funnel leads. Yeah. They're no magic bullet, but you will see a return. I mean, the national average is 1 to 3% on PPC. So even if you only achieve kind of the average conversion rate, which, we would definitely expect, a little bit higher for someone who's utilizing a CRM, you could easily expect, 12 to 18 closings a year from a $500 a month ad spend.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good return. And speaking of kind of like budgets and expected spend, is the budget a part of your monthly spend? Can you go month to month? Do you have to pay for a year? Is it bundled in your spend? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, happy to. So I think one thing that makes Sierra a little bit different is if any of you on the call have been shopping for CRMs and websites, a lot of times competitors will bundle in a lead number or a lead amount, and maybe they'll discount it for 6 months or a year, but a big portion of their revenue comes from their digital marketing. So for us, the digital marketing is a service for our clients and as a retention tool, right? Like we want to see you successful with the platform. So we are very flexible in terms of the way you want to use PPC. If you want to do PPC on our websites with a third party, you don't have to use us. If you want to use us, you can. You can turn it on month by month. Maybe for 3 months, you have 200 leads come in and you feel like you're getting a little backed up. You can turn it off for a few months. So with the paid spend, you can absolutely adjust your budget on a month-to-month basis and turn it on and off completely. And it's very important. I guess it's part of kind of our vision, and Peter can kind of speak to that too. Like we're very focused on having success with the platform. Once you kind of partner with us, we want to see you have a return on your investment, especially in a post-NAR world. So, and then kind of what I have on my screen here, Amanda, is just an example of our buyer and seller leads that you would see, on Google or any other platform that we would do it on. And this is what you would do if you did Facebook remarketing. This is how they would look.
Yeah, important call out. We do have Facebook as well. And then I think you're going to it now, our reporting, which I think is, people are really impressed by the transparency around this. We're not like whatever dollar you spend, you will see it come back in this report. So we don't, it's not a shell game, right?
100%. Yeah. So another component of, kind of the for-profit digital marketing world is that they won't share with you the Google AdWords report. So this is the receipt if you were to run a campaign on your own without a company that you would get from Google. Google gives you very detailed analytics. So in this Georgia, you can see your conversion rate, your cost per lead. I'm sure it's pretty small on your screens, but this report is very in-depth in terms of what it's showing you. And it's important for you to own this information. So if you ever, if you leave Sierra one day, or if you want to take your marketing in-house, this report will become very, very valuable to you. So we don't hide this from you, and we do share it with you directly. And more importantly, it's the second page that's really valuable. This is the search terms. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. So on the second page of a Google report is the search terms the companies are using. This is the main reason most companies won't share this report with you. They want to keep their search terms private. So you kind of have to maybe rely on them, or they don't have to, compete with others. We are happy to share with you the search terms we're using. It's nothing that we want to hide. We'll show you. You can see exactly what's working, what's not. And then on a monthly basis, we can evaluate, hey, maybe houses for sale in Lawrenceville is costing us a lot per lead, and those leads are not a high quality, right? But Duluth is cheaper and we're closing more. So let's throw more of our spend in that bucket. So having this report just helps you kind of stay informed as the consumer on where you want to spend.
Love that. Our digital marketing team is the best. PPC is kind of a no-brainer, it feels like. But let's pivot back to the CRM for a minute. And I'm sure many people on the call right now are using some sort of CRM, maybe or not. Maybe they haven't used their CRM as much as they should because it's hard and confusing and there's just too much. Can you talk about user friendliness of our CRM compared to others?
Yeah, that's a really common question I get, Amanda. So it's interesting on how many calls I have with clients where the first thing that they say when I ask them about their current CRM is like, they feel almost guilty. Like they feel like they should use it more. They're doing something wrong. I should spend more time in it. And if 90% of my calls with customers have that feeling, then it's probably not a customer problem. It's probably a CRM problem, right? If everyone's having the same feeling towards a CRM where they're not getting the use out of it, it's likely because it's not serving them in a way that's useful enough for them to get into every day. So I think in terms of user friendliness, that's the most important part for us. So one thing that Philip, our onboarding specialist and also trainer, shared with me a long time ago is there is one essential component that shows user adoption in a system, and that's a dialer. So we have a dialer in the system that's meant to be user friendly, and the system is completely designed around what you do every day, which is living on your cell phone, making calls, making texts, and sending emails. So all of those things are integrated into the CRM very tightly. So you're living out of the CRM instead of living on your cell phone and then having to come back to a CRM to do busy work, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I want to kind of put a point on that. That's really the crux of why you would use a dialer in the CRM over your cell phone. And it's that kind of logging afterwards, manual sort of admin work that you were kind of mentioning, where if you're in the CRM using the tools in there, it really becomes your system of record and a very useful tool in your arsenal.
Absolutely. And I'm going to share something for that here real quick too. So with where is my dashboard here? So with the CRM, when you're using the dialer, pull this up. There's a couple of advantages to answer the question, why would you use a dialer over your cell phone? So there's a few reasons. First, it makes logging your communications very easy. So when you make a call, whether it's we have a mobile app, so you would call from the app or from the browser, the call gets logged automatically. But there's a few other things that you can't do on your cell phone. First, let's say look, in this list, I have 92 leads that just came in today, maybe from my PPC campaign. If I want to communicate with all 92 on my cell phone, I'm going to call each one individually or send them a text individually or load them into some other third-party system. So with Sierra, since the dialer is built in, I can bulk select all 92 leads, and I can do a lot of things. So I can send a text. So maybe we have a template we send to our new leads, or maybe I want to write something from scratch, say hi. We can put in their first name so the message feels personalized. And then I can put in some various text, whatever that may be. But most importantly, because we're integrated with your IDX, we can attach listings as well. So if I want to send this text to 92 people and I want to send them a couple properties here, I'll be able to do that and attach this to the text. And I can also attach a video directly here too. So I can send that to all 92 people, which I can't do on my cell phone. Why else would I use the dialer? Calling. So if you do need to call each lead one by one, we can do that here by adding them to the call list. So I can add all of these leads to a call list. Here's my 39 leads I want to call today. And I'll call from my browser today. And it's going to launch me into each lead record one by one until I finish my calls. So I'll have all of their information up here front and center, and I can go through it very quickly, right? I can get through 39 calls a lot quicker that way than putting them on my phone each individually.
Totally.
And last point on that is just every call in your system can be recorded. So this is something that I think is underutilized in the real estate space. There's a lot of customers I talked to 3 months ago who come back and want to talk to me about Sierra. I do not remember what we spoke about. I have to go back to the recording and listen to that back. And all of your calls in the system will be logged in that same way too, for coaching or for personal reference.
Those are really good points. And we have so many wonderful frequently asked questions, but we are running out of time. The one thing that I wanted to mention is we always make sure in the demo process to talk about the onboarding process, training, success after the sale, all of those good things. And for that, we want to tap in our customer experience friends to talk a little bit about what comes after the sale.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. So my name is Philip. I lead our training and onboarding teams here at Sierra. And what this means is after you contact James and you sign up, you will enter the training and onboarding realm. Our onboarding process is currently designed to configure, launch, and train you on Sierra's powerful features that James and Amanda just talked about, right? This journey ensures that you maximize Sierra's potential from the start. And the goal really is to get your site configured and launched as quickly as possible so that you and our team have more time during your onboarding journey to get you all trained and ready to start using Sierra into your daily business practices. So your onboarding experience really has 6 milestones that we have for you. First is your orientation. As soon as you sign up with James, you get into our world, our onboarding specialists are actually going to reach out to you and have a live Zoom introduction. Right. This is where we're going to give you the lay of the land. Hey, what does the onboarding process look like? What is expected of everyone? Who are the key players? Who are all the team members that you will have access to help you get configured, implemented, and adopting Sierra? Right. This is also when we start talking to you about some necessary documents that we will need from you in order to get going. Things like your IDX approval that James was talking about, so that we can populate those MLS listings on your website and you can start generating that traffic on your website. Our next milestone is a website launch. So this is everything from configuring your website to the launching of your website. So we have website consultation calls with you, which is where our site integration specialists are going to come in and really work with you on the aesthetics of your site. So think of this really as a consultation to maybe get your hair done, or to get a tattoo, or an elective surgery, or something like that, right? You're always going to have some sort of consultation with the person performing that to make sure that everyone's expectations are aligned. That's what we're going to do during your website launch phase. And then we're also going to help you launch your website so it's live on the internet. Next, we're going to help you set up your CRM. So these are step-by-step tutorials for things like connecting to your dialer, so that you can make phone calls, send text messages from the platform, sync your emails so that you can send listing alerts to your leads. But also, I saw this question in the chat from Brendan. Yes, we're going to help you, excuse me, and teach you how to migrate your existing database into your Sierra database, right? So we'll call this your lead import. We're going to help you import your leads with instructions and resources to help you get that done. And then also, you're going to need to integrate other platforms, maybe like a Fellow or a HomeBot or the Big Bad Z company, right? We're going to help you also integrate those platforms to get you set up. Now, hopefully this will all get done within about 30 to 35 days or so, and we'll have a 1-month check-in with you. This is where we're going to verify your setup and actually schedule your first curated training session. So that's going to be a theme that you will hear me in our next couple of slides talking about, is the training that we're going to provide to you during your onboarding journey. Then we'll always give you a 14-day reminder. This is just saying, hey, you know what? You have 14 days left in your onboarding journey. Let's make sure that we have everything buttoned up before we move you on to continued success, which is where we provide encouragement for you to go through ongoing improvement and education learning Sierra's platform. Right? So let's talk about primary training. The primary training that you will get with my team during onboarding consists really of those three, of CRM setup, workflow creation, mobile app training, lead management, and automated follow-up. So the way I love to position this is talking about the way our sales team and James is really here to sell you the Ferrari or insert your favorite supercar, right? But really, what good is having that Ferrari if you don't know how to open her up and drive? What we do during onboarding is focus on setting up and training you so that you can take your Ferrari with all these features that James and our sales team are going to talk to you about or have talked to you about, and really start leveraging the essential CRM and lead generation features. So what we'll do is we'll help you utilize the dialer to make and receive calls and texts, set up those emails, and really help you also create lead distribution rules. This is really where your lead conversion is going to start with our system so that you can ensure the leads that you are receiving are worked your way. Also going to teach you and your agents how you're going to get in and use Sierra daily, right? How are you going to nurture and manage those leads that you're receiving from your Sierra website? This also includes your mobile app training. So as James mentioned during his demo, most of you, if not all of you, are always on your phone, right? I remember when I was an agent, that thing was glued to my hand. So our mobile app is here to help you manage and nurture your leads on while you're on the go, on the fly. And we take time to teach you the same principles that we taught you on the desktop version of CRM with your mobile app as well. All of those things are really what we're going to talk about when we discuss lead management with you. And one of the big topics that we'll always discuss is leveraging things like lead statuses and smart filters. Those are just features that Sierra has to help you with effective lead engagement, right? Because the juice has got to be worth the squeeze. What's the point of generating all these leads that we're getting from Google Ads or from our SEO if we can't convert them? Right. So those are a couple of the features we're really going to focus on. And then also, as it's been alluded to, drip campaigns, action plans. Basically, what we mean by that is automated follow-up. Automated follow-up are features that really allow Sierra to work for you. So you can send these automated messages to nurture your lead database, but also think of things like working your past client sphere of influence, right? Getting them up on scheduled emails or anything like that to help increase those conversions for you. Along with your primary training, we're also going to teach you about content creation. In the digital marketing world that we live in, we were in a meeting previous to this and it was called New Media and I loved it, so I'm stealing it. In the new media world that we live in, right, content is king. If we talk about search engine optimization, SEO, or ranking on search engines like Google or Bing, really what we're talking about is custom content, because custom content is key to your organic lead generation. So to help you with this, we provide training on creating engaging content, which include, but are not limited to, blog writing, creating more community or neighborhood pages. Definitely want you to get those testimonials in there for social context and social support. And then also there are certain SEO features that maybe you want to talk about with us. Things like adding meta tags, or alt tagging your images, or adding header tags and hierarchy to your pages. Things like that we'll be able to teach you more during our onboarding process as well. Now, once all of that learning is done and you've completed your onboarding journey, we don't just stop there, right? We're not just trying to abandon you on the side of the road with your broken down Ferrari because, maybe you forgot to get your oil changed. I don't know. Anyway, that's just to say that our training education team, one of the other teams that I lead, is also here to help you deepen that Sierra utilization, right? So think of onboarding as we're teaching you how to crawl and walk. And when you get post onboarding, our training education team is here to teach you how to run and sprint and hurdle and get into the Olympics. So our training and education team is really founded on three main pillars. And those are the same pillars that I learned when I was practicing and I had my team, which is speed to lead, speed to response, and speed to accountability, right? It did not create those those aren't just my own proprietary terms. Those are all things that team leaders and brokers are fairly aware of. But we use those to help train the team on it, right? So speed to lead are going to be things like how you can quickly generate and respond to your leads for better conversion. Speed to response is all about, hey, how do we effectively manage and convert and nurture our current lead database, whether they're cold leads, warm leads, or hot leads? That's speed to response. And then lastly is speed to accountability, Right? Our team leads and brokers, you're going to take the time or the resources and money to set up a lead converting system. We need to make sure the team is using it. For example, are we making sure our team is even using Sierra? All right, so those are things that we're going to help you build accountability systems within the platform as well with our training and education team. We do these things through comprehensive training, such as Sierra Academy videos, which is our custom video training library that you can always have access to within Sierra. But also we provide specialized sessions, right? We'll do feature-based training webinars. These are weekly, where we'll come in and we'll talk about a feature, and we'll also tell you how that feature could be used, best practices. We do 3 weekly Ask Me Anything webinars. So you, your admin, your agents, your ISAs, your showing partners, your lender, whomever that's using Sierra can hop in and ask our training team questions about the platform. Right? Maybe it's, how do I create this blog and add this image to a blog, right? We can do that really quickly if you don't want a live Zoom training session. So we also offer one-on-one live Zoom training sessions. Our training and education team, not only do we create all these resources, but we also have in-depth knowledge of not only real estate and the Sierra platform. So our team has a combined 15 years of real estate experience, and then also a combined over 2 decades of platform knowledge with Sierra, right? So that's our value prop to say. That's something that I think that a lot of other of Sierra's competitors might not be able to offer on the level that we offer it, with the amount of experience in both what you all are dealing with day to day and also our own proprietary software. So the journey, however, probably doesn't stop there. Once you finish your onboarding journey, and we've gotten to you in some training sessions, we have continued success with our customer success team. So I do want to go ahead and hand off to Scott Selverian to tell you all more about our customer success team.
That's great. Thanks, Philip. And I'm going to run through this really quick and just make sure that we try to stay on time here. Really appreciate that. And so I run our customer success team. As Philip said, we've got customer success managers that really help you integrate Sierra within your business. We're very knowledgeable on the platform, very knowledgeable, as Philip said, within the real estate space. And while training and education does an amazing job of getting you on the platform to extend one of Philip's analogies, they're going to teach you how that Ferrari works, how to drive that Ferrari. Customer success is racing school. We're really going to take it to the next level. And we really do that with a very hands-on approach with our clients. So we want to come in and understand your strategic business goals and objectives and ensure our system aligns with and supports those goals. So not just giving you a CRM, showing you some training and letting you run, but really having in-depth conversations with you around your business and your team. So we'll start out with weekly or bi-weekly meetings to make sure that we flatten that learning curve for you. And what we want to do is decrease your time to see some return on investment on your system and get you running out of the gates as quickly as possible. Over time, those meetings will become less frequent, as we understand more than ever that you need to be out selling houses, especially in this environment we have today. You need to be out pounding the pavement, pounding the phones, selling houses, not knee deep in your CRM trying to learn what you need to do next. And our goal is to help you do that, right? Our CSMs will dedicate one-on-one time with you and your teams to pinpoint features that are going to be most significant to your operations, right? Like, we know real estate agents all do business a little bit differently, so we want to help you focus on the features that are going to make the most impact for you. We'll also conduct quarterly business reviews and end-of-year business reviews just so we can stay on top of the business challenges, the business changes that your team is going through, and make sure that our system evolves with that. The other thing that you'll obviously have access to our customer success team is our support team. We've got a world-class support team that you will have access to from day one. And while they're complementary services, customer success and support, we do see that there's a clear bifurcation between these two teams. Customer success is really going to approach your business from a strategic perspective and the use of Sierra from a strategic perspective. And our support teams are really experts in helping day-to-day guide you and your team on any questions you may have and any features and functionality of the system. So more support for you to be able to get up and running on Sierra and take your business to the next level. So one of the things I mentioned is we're going to do some a lot of reviews with you, and coming out of the gate, we understand that you're going to be drinking from the fire hose. There's a lot of features to learn here. You're probably only going to adopt a few right out of the gate, and we're here to support you to adopt more. One of the things we do is a system review, which is to make sure that your system is set up correctly, go in and review it and highlight some features and functionality. I have an example here of a system review we did where we identified that this client only had 18% of their entire database getting their e-alerts or property alerts from Sierra, right? Which is a significantly low number. So we not only helped them identify that, but we used our bulk apply tool. With just a few clicks, we were able to get the rest of their database on property alerts, and they immediately saw results with increased traffic to their website. I mean, who better to market to than the database you already have, right? So we know that, and we're gonna help you leverage that as well. We also do a lot of work with our product team directly. So a lot of the feedback that we get from clients like yourself goes directly to the product team, so we can continue to help iterate on and improve the product in ways that you're looking to use it within your business. So I know I talked really fast there. We're super excited to have you guys on board with Sierra and answer any additional questions you have. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to JC.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. So I know we're at time, guys, but we want to go ahead and throw up an offer here for you guys. So we have an exclusive offer just for attendees today. We're going to be offering you guys what you guys see on the screen right there. So we're waiving your setup fee if you get signed on with us. We're offering a $50 discount off of our growth package for the first 12 months of your contract. So that's a total $600 in savings. And then we're also offering free expedited onboarding for everybody that's attending today. So in order to get this going, I would definitely encourage you guys to scan the QR code there, and we'll make sure to send this in the follow-up email as well. But we want you guys to get a one-on-one demo set up with James, where he's going to be able to really dig into your business and kind of assess, your specific business needs, talk about PPC, talk about some of the strategies that you have for lead generation in your specific market. That way we can ensure that we're getting you guys the best package, the best deal, and everything set up for success so that you guys can hit the ground running. So I know that we're at time right now. We're going a little bit over. We do have time for Q&A. If anybody has any burning questions, don't hesitate to let us know. I would also definitely encourage you guys, give us a shout if any questions come up after this. You can always send us an email at hello@sierrainteractive.com, or just reply to the email that we send to you guys later today that includes the recording and the specific offer link for you guys. So if there's no questions, I don't see any ones coming through the chat that we haven't already answered. We will go ahead and wrap up today. Thank you guys so much for your time. I'll go ahead and skip ahead just so you guys can kind of get our social channels here, because we want you guys to give us a like, follow us on socials. In addition to the content that we shared today, we're always sharing out new content, new assets. We have a couple specific that we'll be sending in the post-webinar email that just shares more information on how to get started with Sierra and things to consider as you're evaluating your overall tech stack. These things aren't necessarily specific to Sierra, but just options to help you choose what tech stack makes the most sense to help you hit your business goals. So thank you guys so much for attending. Like we said, this was our very first demo day that we've ever done. So we really, really appreciate you guys being here with us and participating and asking questions in the chat. You'll see a webinar survey as soon as we close out of this, because we really would love your feedback to see how we can make this more successful and valuable for everybody in the future. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a shout. Otherwise, have a great day. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.